Hello everyone, Vic Penn quarterback here. I hope you all are doing well. I want to stress that it's just important for a quarterback to spend time in the classroom as it is out on the football field. You really do get better in the classroom. I think it's important for parents to make sure that you're always filming your children's games or practices, or anytime they're out throwing the football, especially when we're talking about quarterbacks. We always want to watch ourselves play, we want to watch ourselves practice, and we want to get better from it. And the way that you become better is to, come in the classroom after practice, before practice, spend time, in the classroom, learning the plays, learning the defensive coverages, learning how you can be better so that when you step out on the field, you can implement it and be that much better as a quarterback and be an all-around quarterback and really take it to the next level. So when you're in the classroom, you want to visualize yourself as we're going through this. You want to visualize yourself out there on the field, actually going through these plays and going through these routes and going through these drops. Picture yourself doing it so that when you get out there, it will be like you've been there before and you'll be a little bit more comfortable. So there's been a few questions about the three-step drop and what routes the receivers can run while a quarterback is in a three-step drop mode. And it's basically your five-yard hitch, your 5-yard out, your 5-yard slant, and then a three-step 5-yard throw fade route. So we're also going to talk about the route tree. And the route tree is a series of routes that have numbers that match with them. And we're going to start with the zero route. And I know that there are other versions of the route tree, and I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just giving you the one that I felt was the best route tree that I had ever learned, and I learned a few during my career, but this one always kind of stuck with me, and it makes sense because you can really utilize the hand signals that comes with this route tree in a game. And if you need to change a play or run a quick route, it's very easy to let your receiver know what to do so that you're both on the same page. So we're going to start with the three-step drop, and not the main, but one of the first routes that you can throw with a three-step drop is a 5-yard hitch, okay? So here you have your X and your Z receivers, all right? And this is a pro formation, which means two receivers, X and Z. You have your tight end, Y. You have your fullback and your tailback, or running back, okay? And this is a standard pro formation. We're going to title it R, so that the R indicates that it's a right formation, but that the running backs are in an I set instead of a split set, all right? So R, running backs in an I form, X on the ball, Z off the ball. You have to have 7 men on the line of scrimmage at all times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have our left tackle, our left guard, our center, our right guard, and our right tackle. We have Y, which is our tight end, Z, which is a receiver, and X as a receiver, okay? So if I'm calling a hitch, which is a zero route, remember, all even numbers, 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8, are routes that will break inside towards the quarterback. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 are routes that will break outside towards the sidelines. All odd numbers break out, all even numbers break in. So a 5-yard hitch, which is a zero, would be what I have here. A 5-yard and a hitch. And it's plant at 5 yards and then hitch back to the receiver. Quarterback's in a three-step drop and throwing the hitch, which is zero, all right? Now, if you come up to the line of scrimmage and you have hitches called, and you have corners that are playing tight, all right? Let's say the corners come up here and are playing the receivers tight. Well, you don't want to run a hitch into a corner that's pressing or that's playing really tightly. So we have the 9 route, which is an odd number, so it means it's going to go outside. The 9 route is when the receiver runs a fade, okay? So it's, instead of a hitch, it's a fade route, all right? receivers run a fade. Still 3-step drop and throw for quarterbacks. But if they come and they press your hitch, then you can check to a 9 route. That's why I like it. The signal for 9 we used to use was, tapping your hamstring. All right. So let's just talk about the hitch. It's 1, 2, 3. The quarterback keeps his head downfield. All right. The quarterback's keeping his head downfield because the quarterback can pick a side, X or Z. Let's say this one's playing off, this corner's playing off, this one's playing tight, and you just want a nice hitch for a first down or a nice play for a first down. All right. So you pick a side, but you don't want to give it away, so you can keep your head forward during your first step and then come to the side that you want to throw the hitch to. Have a plan when you come up to the line of scrimmage. Look at the corners, all right? See where these linebackers are playing. Is this linebacker going to be able to get underneath your hitch? All right? So you've got to play it a little bit and have a feel for it. So the 0 is the hitch route. Now, like I said, if the corners come up and they're both playing both receivers tightly, then they're probably in some sort of a cover 2, which means these safeties are going to come over the top, okay, for the fade route. So what happens is the corner will ride the receiver for maybe 6, 7 yards, and then the corner will let the receiver go, and now it's the safety's responsibility to get over the top to cover the deep receiver. So there's a window right about here. So when you're throwing the fade route, you initially want to have a fade route coming like this, where the quarterback's leading towards the sidelines, the receiver. But if they come out in the cover 2, and this safety's going to be on top of your deep ball, then there's that window right between when the corner lets off and when the safety will come over the top. So you may have to zing one in there behind the corner in front of the safety on a 9 route, okay? So in a cover 2 situation, this corner is going to ride the receiver, and then it's going to cover this flat area. So if this tight end were to come out like this, or this tailback were to swing like that, then it would be this corner's responsibility to cover everything in this flat area, and the safety's got over the top, so there's your window on a fade route on a cover 2, all right? So we have 0 as a hitch. We have the 1 route, which is a negative number. So that means the receiver is going to go 5 yards and break to the out, all right? For the quarterback, it's still 1, 2, 3, but on a 1 route, you might want to get your head down a little bit, so you can see, and then when you throw, you got to make sure you open up so you can get the proper rotation and the strength on the ball. Remember, this corner on a 1 route, when that receiver breaks out, it's likely that corner is going to be behind somewhere, okay, in this area. So you want to make sure as the quarterback, you lead him towards that sideline, because if you're behind, that corner is going to take it, it's going to go all the way, all right? It's an easy interception for that corner if you're late or behind on your throw. So it's got to be on time, it's got to be 1, 2, 3, and bam, you hit the guy on the out, so that he can only catch it. The receiver can only catch it. If it goes too far, then at least it's out of bounds and it's not an interception. But you don't want it behind, because that's when that corner sneaks in and goes all the way with the interception, okay? So you have 5-yard hitch, 0, 5-yard out, which is the 1, 5-yard slant, which is a 2 route, okay? We're going to run a 2 route. So the corner's going to come up, get to about 5 yards, and then slant it inside, all right? So as a quarterback, I can still pick a side because you've got 2 slants here, right? As a quarterback, I'm going to trust that my receivers can beat these corners, okay? This guy's going to beat, and he's going to have some sort of separation on this corner when he slants it. That corner's going to be around here somewhere, trailing a little bit if they're playing a man-to-man type coverage, all right? So you've got to be careful when you're running the slant route for these guys, Will and Sam, all right, who are linebackers. You got Mike. Will is the weak side linebacker. Sam is the strong side linebacker. And you have Mike for the middle linebacker. So Will can easily drop underneath my slant there, and Sam can drop easily underneath my slant there. So if I've got two slants called in this particular formation, I'm going to trust that they're going to beat my corner, or beat this corner. There's going to be separation there. So I got to make sure that this guy doesn't get underneath it. Because if this guy gets underneath it, I may have to wait for the receiver to clear and hit it, because this safety will be back. There may be a window here, and there may be a window here on your slant. All right? So if this guy is blitzing, for example, all right, Will's blitzing and he's no longer dropping, then I can trust that my receiver is going to beat the corner. He's going to be trailing, so I can 1, 2, 3, and I can stare him down, and I can throw that slant on that first window. Hit him right there off the break, all right? If this guy is dropping, that's when I may have to hold it a second and let him clear this guy that's dropping, the Will linebacker who's now here, because if I throw it immediately, boom, he's going to be right there to intercept it. If I hold it just a shade, let him clear the Will, then there's that window right past the Will. So you've got to be aware of your outside linebackers, you know, when you've got a slant called, because you don't want them getting underneath it, and, you know, that's another easy pick six there also. So you've got 0, the 5-yard hitch. You've got 1, the 5-yard out. You've got 2, the 5-yard slant, and you've got 9, which is the fade, all with a 3-step drop, all right? You could probably throw a 5-yard in if you wanted, but it doesn't really mesh well with a 3-step drop for some reason. You could still do it, but the 5-yard out, the slant kind of covers the in. Anytime we had an in route at 5 yards, it was usually on a 5-step drop with some sort of a combination route with another receiver, maybe out of a trip set, but or a twin set. But basically, your 5-yard routes, 5-yard hitch, 5-yard out, 5-yard slant, and the fade route are the routes that you'll be running out of a 3-step drop, all right? And the 3-step drop is without a hitch. There's no hitch step, as you'll see in a 5-step drop. If you watch my demonstration in the earlier video, you'll see that I didn't hitch on my 3rd step. It was just stop, plant, and then you have your, you know, you can pivot, but you don't do a hitch and then come back up. It's just, you know, 3 steps without a hitch on these routes, because it's 1, 2, 3, let her ride, and it's got to be on timing with the receiver. So you have a 0 hitch, a 1, a 5-yard out, a 2, a 5-yard slant, and a 9, which is the fade route, okay? And just remember, you got to know what kind of coverage they're in when you're throwing that fade, because if this corner is in a cover 2, then he'll break off. This guy will be over the top. There's that window in here. If this corner's playing man-to-man on him the whole time, then you want to throw one of those deep fades. Just make sure that this safety is either looked off going this way or straight back, so that you can hit him deep over here. All right? Or if it's, you know, a 3-step, if they're playing like a cover 3 and this corner at the snap of the ball bails on you, and you have a fade called, then you want to be on the same page of the receiver and automatically convert that to a hitch. Because if you come up to the line of scrimmage and you have a fade called, and you see that the corner's bailing or going to bail or is playing really far off, then that's when you want to give your quarterback the 0, or your receiver the 0, and change the play from a fade to a hitch, and you're just here. Boom, it's real simple. All right? You can maybe use a red, you know, just give the receiver the signal, or 1 or 2. It's very easy to communicate with your receivers with this route tree. So those are the routes that kind of match up. I hope everybody's doing well. Remember, 100% focus 100% of the time from the minute you step out on that football field. Thank you, everybody, and we'll talk soon. Bye now.